Hello. Happy July.
We're back at Granny Pan Knits for another night of showing you what we've been doing.
Yay!
We're glad to be here. One thing we have not done is told people where to find us. So I'm Wendy.
I'm Becky.
And we're mother and daughter. And I just thought that you should know where to find us on Instagram and Ravelry if you ever have any questions about the things that we're doing. So, maybe when we edit we could put the text that has like our...
I tried. It's hard. Yeah. Well, I put in our
did it once.
about thing.
When I did it, we can do it.
Yeah, but it's... okay.
So my Ravelry name and Instagram name are the same. And it is Solly Rocks. SOLLYROX.
Because we're cool. Rocks with an X.
Yeah. My students did that. They took Solomon and shortened it to Solly. And then I put the rocks after it because I rock.
Okay. Mine are not the same. On Instagram, you can find me at Becky Kelch, BECKYKLC. That's my last name. And on Ravelry, that was my Instagram. On Ravelry, it's Becky Noelani, BECKYNOELANI, which is my middle name.
There you go.
So there you go.
So if you need us, that's how to find us. And Becky will try to get the text on the screen, see if that works. So anyway, welcome. We're glad to have you back for another installment of our Granny Pan Knits. Yep. We got, what do we have going on today, Becky?
Mostly
we got some
knitting.
Finished objects.
Finished.
We got some
Works in progress.
We got some yarny goodness to share in between.
Yep.
We also have some family stuff to talk about, which I'm kind of excited about.
Yay.
So, we'll be sharing
Family.
that too.
Family. It says right on the wall. That's what
It's a theme today. How fitting is that?
We are in Mom's living room because it is hot outside.
It's quite hot.
I look like I'm still pretty hot.
If we were going to sit out there, we'd have had to turn the air conditioner off, and then the house would have got even warmer. So, no. And we would have got warmer. Which is no bueno. No.
I can't wait for like 60-degree weather again.
Yeah.
So it should just always be.
Yeah, I'm kind of a baby when it comes to heat. So what have you been working on, Becky?
Many things.
Excellent.
Okay. I have 3 finished objects to share with you. Yay!
That's kind of a lot.
Well, I think
Nice.
we've had 3 weeks in between, and I try and do one a week, but
There you go.
they're smaller somewhere, so that's how I can keep up. Okay, these are my socks that I made. Dun, 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 dun.
Didn't we each have one last time or something like that? I don't remember.
Last time I didn't bring these because I had not worked on them between.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I went home and I was like, I am making those socks. And I did.
Get them done. So who designed your socks that you made?
These are designed by my friend Kim Jackson. Her design company is called HYGGE Canyon. And you can find her on Instagram and Ravelry. And she just started her own website.
Wow.
So if you don't want to use Ravelry.
Because it wasn't that long ago that she started designing, right?
Yeah, her first design I think came out in the beginning of December. So 7 months.
Good
She's
for her.
done a
That's
ton.
Awesome.
Lots of socks, a couple of hats. She started a shawl, but she's not. Her love is definitely clearly socks. Which is
interesting. You should mention socks. I have stuff to say about socks. So
good. But these are her No Surprises socks, named after the song from Radiohead. And she has a whole collection. If you can tell, there's a texture on this, a lot of ribbing. All of her she has 3 out right now that are based on songs. They have ribbing because it's like a vinyl record with the ribbing. Okay. And this one was fun because it had a stripy heel and then a little like fade stripy to the toe. So I like them a lot.
That is kind of fun. So you did the entire pattern the way she wrote it then?
Yes.
with the heel flap and gusset.
Yes.
More about socks.
Exactly.
Very good.
And also this yarn is from Malabrigo sock. Just a nice red and brown. Like chocolate strawberries to me.
Chocolate raspberries or
Yeah.
chocolate cherries. Look at that.
Chocolate.
The dark red like the
Chocolate cinnamon
chocolate
bears.
something. Oh, there you go.
But yeah, it's cute and I like them. And I like the way they fit because it's ribbed, it hugs your foot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just comfy and nice. And good job, Kim.
Yay. Good job, Becky.
Good job, me.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay, is it time for my finished object?
Is it?
I think so.
Okay.
My finished object. Are you checking this out? Are you looking at it? Are you seeing how gorgeous this is? Okay, we were trying to experiment how to do this before we sat down to record. So here we go. I guess I got to show off the whole thing. This is called the City Limits sweater. It is by TANIS. I'm trying to remember her name now. I thought I would show it to you because I did download it. TANIS LAVALLEE. There's a picture of her in her version of the sweater. Beautiful faded sweater. So you'll notice that I did a couple of alterations to it. Here it is. Dun, 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 dun.
First, scoot this out and step back.
Chair so I can step back.
Yay! Can you see the bottom yet?
There we go.
Ballerina.
I think that's pretty good, don't you think? So I just am totally in love with this sweater. I love the fade. I love the purple to blue to green down here at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about some of the alterations I made to the pattern. So I have a tummy because every baby that I had brought me a gift of an extra 20 pounds that I couldn't get rid of.
You're welcome.
So
I think mine was probably more.
So that's kind of how it goes, you know, but it's all good. So anyway, I altered it a little bit. The pattern, if you notice, has these two columns here that are different. First of all, you wear the purl bumps out. So the inside of it is the knit side, right there. And so there are these two columns of knit on the side like this. And you can see where I came in for the waistline right here. And then it was supposed to flare out to be the same as it was up there, but I just kept going with the flare out so that the final sweater would have plenty of grace for my voluptuous self. There you go. But I think that that turned out really, really neat. So I am super, ballerina pose again, super happy with it. I just think it's absolutely, it turned out exactly like I envisioned it. And you'll also notice that I did short sleeves instead of long. They're perfect. Perfect length of sleeve. The last sweater that I did, I went ahead and made it full length. And I'm constantly pushing the sleeves up to my elbows anyway, so I thought this time, why knit long sleeves? I'm just going to stop where I like them. So anyway, there you go. Yay. The City Limits sweater by TANIS, LAVALLEE, and the yarns that I used or by Yarn Cafe Creations for this top first one. Then it fades into this beautiful speckle by Dragon Horde Yarn. Then that one fades down here into this one by Rhapsody Fiber Arts. The first green one is also by Rhapsody Fiber Arts. This next greeny blue color right down here, this one is by RADISHES. And finally back to a Dragon Horde yarn for the bottom one called Medusa.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I just think it turned out beautiful. And I'm going to go and build my Ravelry page on it so you can check out any of the specs there that you might be interested in. But I'm super happy. I'm super happy with it. I just, yeah, super happy. Okay.
I love it, Mom.
You're welcome for the backside view there. Sorry.
You're welcome. Do you have more FOs or just mine?
Nope.
I have two more.
Excellent.
This is a cowl. Wear it on your neck. And I like it. And from back here, it's hard to see the cables. I'll put up here. There's a little
Oh, that looks pretty good.
cable work in there.
Yeah.
This is called the NAMU COWL pattern. It's by KNITBOOP. I think it's free on Ravelry.
KNITBOOP.
KNITBOOP. But it was just a worsted weight, quick. I think I did it in maybe 3 days.
Nice.
And this yarn is by our good friend Marin at Rhapsody Fiber. She has a lot of pretty, just really like nature kind of looking.
She does a lot of natural dyeing,
And she
actually,
does the
doesn't
natural
she?
dyeing,
She does
too.
dandelion dyeing, and one time she
Yeah.
tried avocados. But
I
if I remember right, that
I
one
have
was a
some
little...
of her avocado.
Did it turn out okay? 'Cause she
Yeah.
was frustrated by
The
that
one she sent me turned out good.
Okay.
I think she tried to do another batch and it didn't work the same, so she's
Oh, okay.
frustrated.
There you go.
But she had been collecting her avocado pits for like over a year, and she's like, "Oh, I do more," and so she had like fresh ones.
Oh.
Then maybe that made it different. I don't know.
Maybe. What do I know?
I'm not a nature colorist. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the inspiration for this pattern is supposed to be like the gnarled trees and like Japanese paintings.
Ooh.
So I thought that looked kind of barky.
Yeah, I think that's
Gnarly.
really fun. That'll be nice and
So-
squishy when fall comes back, right?
Yes.
Very fun.
I love that very much.
Yeah.
There was a nice little break between doing things on little needles.
Mm.
A big needle project.
Yes. I don't know if you remember, but when I was doing socks before, the tiny little sock needles just...
They irked you. You were irked.
They drive me crazy. We'll talk more about that in a sec.
Okay.
Show us your last time.
Okay, here's my last finished object that I'm most excited about.
It's so cute.
Dun, 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 dun. Is that
Shall
what
I
I
hold
say?
this side? I'm
Dun,
going to
dun,
hold this
dun,
side.
dun, dun, dun. Look at this shawl.
Look how cute that turned out.
This is like only my second lace thing ever that I've
Vanna-ing
made.
it.
Woo! So this one is fun. It starts in this garter stitch, which is just very simple. And I thought that was perfect to show off this beautiful rainbow yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is called mosaic color work, where you just slip and does that fun.
So it's kind of cheater color work.
Yeah, I would
Easy
say that
color work.
because I'm scared of color work, so I like to do mosaic.
Nothing wrong with that.
And then it just moves into this pretty lace motif.
I love how it keeps going with the diamond pattern.
Yeah. Well, I don't have like a boring enough background behind it, but
Let's hold
The
it up closer.
diamonds-
If you hold it up closer, yep.
yeah,
Yep,
the diamonds
there you go.
continue from the color work into the lace, and it's just great. This pattern is called LAVALLEE. It's by Lisa Haynes. Her designs are under Malia Designs. If you find her on Instagram, that's where she is, and on Ravelry. And she has a bunch. She has so many. I'm definitely going to make
Wow.
more of her. They're all like really pretty and math pattern kind of things. So. love
Yay, we love that.
And of course, one
Beautiful.
of my favorite dyers
Nice and
did this
squishy, too.
rainbow, beautiful Yarn Cafe Creations.
Uh-huh.
She just is always dyeing the most beautiful, happy colors.
That's Christy.
And
Christy is truly an artist.
Christy,
So,
yes.
very, very good.
And then this is some older wool. It's not superwash, which is what usually we knit with. This one is virgin wool.
Ooh.
So it's a little bit like
More rustic?
grabbier.
Is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
rustic and grabby.
Like I don't think it will be itchy, but it's definitely more toothy. I don't know. Is that a good word?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That works for me.
It's more woolly, even though it
Describe
has
what
the
it's
same
doing.
amount of wool. But yeah, I love this. I'd
It's
put it on
woolly.
right now, but I'm really warm.
Woolly, woolly, wool.
But yes, my
That's so
baby.
Love that. Love it.
Okay, that's all my finished things.
Very good. Okay, so I have the sort of finished. So I'm going to pull that out because here's what I decided to do. I think I've already mentioned that the sock thing is driving me crazy. I'm not okay with socks. Or at least I wasn't okay with socks. And then I decided that I would try something. So what I did was I pulled out a sock blank So I had these a couple of sock blanks that I bought a while ago. So this is my sock blank, and you can see that it's kind of pretty. I love the colors on it. And what I decided is that I was going to use this sock blank as a study in sockness. So I have already finished 2 shorty socks, and what I'm doing is experimenting with all the different methods that there are of making socks. So I already know that the size 1 needles, no, they're frustrating. Plus, they were double pointed needles. So I had a feeling that that was maybe part of the problem too. So what I did was I switched, and I am using an 8-inch needle. For those of you who've never seen them before, I have them right over there. Let me grab. Sorry.
I'm trying to look at them. No, you're fine.
Okay.
Aha.
So I used, they call them 9-inch needles, and that's the needle that I used for my first
so crazy
sock study. So it is seriously this tiny, and you're knitting the sock like this. And I actually found that I didn't mind it, Becky.
Really?
Yeah, it took a while to get used to, but once I got used to it, I actually really liked it.
Really
and
fast.
Here's the sock that I made of it. So
Yay.
This is from my sock blank. You can see how it fades from the green to the blue. And before I finished, there was even that little bit of red
I love
in
it.
the toe. So I thought that was really fun. And it's just a nice little shorty sock. And I tried putting a little bit of texture on the side of it just because this is going to be my experimental batch of socks. Here's the thing. None of them are going to match in color because of the fade of the sock blank, right? So I figured, well, if they're not going to match anyway, why don't I just go ahead and experiment? So you'll notice that this one is also made with what we call a heel flap and gusset, where basically this is a little rectangle that's knitted. This is how Becky's were made too. And then there's like a little curved part that's the back of the heel. So that's what I did for the first one. Then for the second one, I thought, okay, I'm going to play with pattern in a way that makes sense on this one. So I got a pattern, and this is from a pattern called the Georgia Sock by Tracie Miller. And it's just that simple little lace pattern on the side of it. And this time I did magic loop. So now I've done socks with DPNs, 9-inch needles, and magic loop. This way I'll know which kind I like, right? So this one also, you'll notice, started with blue in it, but it had the red, and then we worked all the way through the red, and I was about finished with the red by the time I was done. This one I finished on the 4th of July, fittingly enough. And this one also does not have a heel flap and gusset, if you notice. So I was playing with this one, and maybe we can hold up the comparison here. That one's the heel flap and gusset with the rectangle on it, where this one is constructed the same way that you make a toe.
So
if I flip the toe, yeah, if we flip the toes up,
is what her heel is on that one.
That's right. And this one is made after you finish knitting the entire rest of the sock. So you finish it, and you finish this toe, and then you go back to the back of the sock, and you cut the sock open, put it back on the needles, and knit a second toe for the heel.
Was that scary to do?
I was slightly nervous about it, but I watched a video.
Oh, okay.
So I actually, in the pattern, Tracie Miller's pattern, there are links to the videos for how to do it, which was really helpful. So I just followed that. And so now I have 2 shorty socks that kind of match, but not really, but kind of. So the next one, technical interruption, sorry.
Sorry, we got a phone call.
In the middle of our taping, probably from a solicitor, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know the phone number.
Yeah. So the next one I'm going to do, Becky, I bought another pattern, and this one was
More
from...
shorty?
Yeah, I'm going to do a shorty again, and this one is called the Umbrella Sock, and it's by, help me out, Jones.
Kay?
K. Jones. That's right.
Bakery Bears?
Bakery Bears. If you haven't watched the Bakery Bears, you should watch the Bakery
They're
Bears.
so
They're
cute.
very fun. English couple. And she has devised a heel and toe that she calls the umbrella heel and toe. And so she made an umbrella sock. So same kind of thing where you'll be making the toe and the heel the same way, only instead of doing a sharp decrease that has these awesome rows there on the side. I believe the decreases are made in a different way so that it's
Kind
like
of
an
like
umbrella.
a hat?
Like an umbrella. Or a hat, yeah. So I'm interested to see what that one turns out like. And then I'll have 3 socks done. And then I will try some other experiments just to so that way I'll know what my preferred method is, because we listen to other podcasters and they always say this is my preferred method, and the thing about the afterthought or cut-in heel is the stripes don't get weird. So in other words, if I want to use, and I have a few self-striping yarns that I bought that I want to be able to turn into socks, but I want them to look pretty on the heel and not fat and awkward with a heel flap and gusset.
Or
So that's one of the reasons I wanted to, exactly. That's why I wanted to play with it, because I want to be able to be versatile and to have tried them in a way that is just playful and fun. And I thought this sock blank is perfect for that because, like I said, socks don't really match anyway. None of them are going to match.
You're not getting second sock syndrome because you're just doing 1 sock of each kind.
Hey. Bonus, right? Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, if it wasn't so hot, I would just like leave these on. But
I know, I have a pair on.
It's kind of warm. But look how cute. They're so cute. Look how cute that lace is. Anyway, I love them.
I'm glad that you love them.
All right, Becky, what are you working on?
Well, we're talking about socks. Should I show you my current sock project?
Oh, you have a sock whip?
I do have a sock whip. And it's in this cute little sock bag. I showed it last time.
Precious.
That's the one from Lauren.
Yay.
Okay. Da-da-da. I have the leg and the heel of a sock.
Did you start showing us that one last time?
Nope, I cast this on since last time. But I brought it
You
over
showed it
last
to
week.
me.
Because I was so excited, you guys. You're so far away today. I can't reach. So I was so excited. I came over earlier to show Mom how cute is this cuff with these baubles.
Can you tip it
Like,
sideways
just
so the
the-
baubles poke
I
up?
think they already.
There, poke.
No, that does not look good.
Oh,
You can
sorry.
tell this way.
Okay.
It's fine. No, but I love it. Twisted rib. It's got some garter ridges and these baubles. So fun. And then if you look, there's kind of like a little checkerboard X's in the pattern here. And this sock pattern is called Carrots and Radishes. And it was designed kind of about like Peter Rabbit in the garden. And it's by Dawn Landix. But she had not, that's her Instagram name. Her last name is Henderson. Yes, Dawn, Miss Dawn. But it was a collaboration with Little Skein Anne. So if you want to get the pattern, it's through Little Skein.
Oh, okay.
But it's just so happy, and I love it. And I'm using my Hobbit Shire yarn from the Yarnberry.
Cute.
Because when I think of playing in the garden, I of course think of
Hobbits.
and I'm knitting this as part of a summer-long knit-a-thon that our friend Kim is doing. She's the one that designed the red socks that I made, HYGGE Canyon.
Right.
She's doing a read-along, and she has a list of patterns, and then if you read a book that's like related to it, and it's a fun just party of everyone reading and knitting. That's where I found this pattern from.
But you're not reading The Hobbit, though. You're reading...
I'm reading The Fellowship of the Ring right now.
Nice.
And I lost my copy for a minute in my messy house, but I cleaned my house yesterday and I found my book.
Way to go! Yay.
I can start reading it again.
Way to go, reading Tolkien. Beautiful writer, wonderful writer, but
Mom,
it's
my
hard for
my goal is to get at least through fellowship by Christmas.
Yeah.
I ordered.
That's reasonable. Don't say next week because that ain't
I know. I ordered a Lord of the Rings Christmas Advent yarn calendar this year from Woolberry.
Oh wow, that's
and so I'd like to get halfway through Two Towers, to be like halfway done with the whole Lord of the Rings, but I'm gonna, set myself up for I can probably finish Fellowship.
Well, especially when you have a toddler running around your house, that's not an easy thing to do.
It's not like a sit down and read for any amount of time unless it's 1 a.m. and I'm pretty tired by that point.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be knitting if I do get 10 minutes.
Yep,
but yeah, that's my goal is to get through. I'm almost halfway through Fellowship, so I think I can do that by Christmas.
Very good.
For my calendar.
Sorry, we got wanderers in the house.
It's weird because you were an empty nester for how many months?
I was.
And now you have your 2 youngest back.
That's right.
That's a big change.
That's what COVID does. Well, in summertime with no school.
And coming home from your mission.
It's all happy.
They would be here anyways right now.
It's happy times.
But yeah, just different.
Nice.
I have 2 more whips.
You have 2 more whips.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I have 2 planned whips that I haven't actually started working on yet. Should I show one of those?
How about I show my one,
Okay.
and then you can talk about your 2 plans, and then I'll show you my fun, exciting,
Okay.
very excited for one that I brought.
Yes, okay.
Save it for last.
Sweet.
Favorite for last.
Yeah.
Okay, this I cast on last night because I wanted to. Even though I had other things to do. But look at this.
You just cast that on last night. What?
Yeah.
She's
Ta-da!
such a major knitter. Look how pretty.
Let's see if I can turn it this way.
Ooh, I love the
So
purple
something
yarn.
that I really love to do is I save all my leftover yarns and I organize them by color, and then every once in a while I like to just do a faded shawl. So this one is going from the purpley pink to gray. Look how pretty this is. This yarn.
Did you wind all the ends together, or is that just leftover yarn?
These are leftover.
That's just one leftover.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's holding double.
It's
So
leftover
this is my
from?
R one.
Oh, okay.
This one, what's that COWL that Kim made me for our spot?
Nice.
This is nice. It is cashmere and what's the other thing?
Ooh, yeah.
So it's wool.
Merino cashmere nylon?
No,
Is it
no,
FCN?
it's merino, cashmere, and silk.
Wow.
It's 20% silk. So it's really soft and nice. And I probably should have not mixed it with other stuff.
Oh, I like it.
But it feels, I think it feels nice.
Really pretty, yeah.
And I had someone in mind for this for a gift, but I don't know, I really like it. So.
Just don't tell them, and then you can decide.
It might have to be like mine to wear it out at least once, and then I can get it. But
who does that?
that's why I have knit so much, because I think I can get to the next color. So if you look here on the back, all those are where I switched colors. All those hangies.
Wow.
There's like 6 so far.
See, and that's what propelled me through this sweater so well too, Becky, is that it was like, oh, only 3 more rows till the color change, and then you do like 4, and then you're like, I'm always halfway through this color change. It just really propels you. So.
And here's what I'm making. So this is called Beckley,
Wow.
like my name with an L in the middle.
Beckley.
Yeah.
That's kind of pretty.
And it is by D. O'Keefe, and I must have found this when it was on a sale for free, but it's paid for right now. So, got free pattern. And so here's my purple, and then it's gonna fade into gray and have gray lace around the outside.
Oh, that'll be
like it. I'm excited.
I love that. You can have the rest of my yarn chicken purple from this sweater too.
Yee.
It's like 4 yards.
What?
I'm serious. It was like major yarn
Yeah,
chicken.
I've put in like tiny amounts of
Have
things
you?
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very thing when I cast on, I only had like this little bits and bob. It lasted like this much.
Mm-hmm.
This much at the top of that is like has one.
Itty bitty bits.
Little bits. So that's my newest one that I was excited for. I think it's gonna go pretty fast because it's all, at least right now, while it's Carter stitch, it's gonna go really fast.
Yeah.
Once it gets to lace, I might not be as excited to work on it just because you have to pay attention a little bit more, which is fine. Just, I don't know. I think it's mindless knitting is quick knitting for me.
That's true.
So.
That's true. Maybe I'll turn this one into mindless, but I have a plan.
Okay.
So here's my plan. We have a wedding coming in the family. One of my cousin's daughters is getting married.
Ooh.
And we're super excited for her. And so I thought, what can I do?
Fun.
So I am going to do an adaptation of this pattern. So I have this little pattern, which is Easter cloths. And see, now your brother's going to walk in too in the middle of our thing.
That's
but
okay.
That's okay.
I'm like, ooh, someone's got their dog.
So these are by Kristen Pate. And you can see that they're just like a little round window with a design on them.
Cute little Easter eggy.
Uh-huh.
love it.
I did the little lamb one, and that's the only one that I've had a chance to do so far.
Yeah.
But I do think that they're very cute, and I love handmade cloths. But here's going to be the twist.
It's not going to be Easter.
It's not going to be Easter, because I have this
It's going to
book,
be Harry Potter.
which somebody got me for my birthday. And, well,
It was
I'm going
selfish
to
gifts that I'm going to borrow.
borrow from this one. What I'm going to do, let me quickly find it. I really probably should have bookmarked.
I really want that time turner sweater.
Hint, hint. Okay, so these are the Harry Potter sweaters that we all know and love, the Mrs. Weasley sweaters that have the monogrammed initial on the front, right? So I figure, why not? And this book, and we'll just do a quick flash, has the charts for all the letters of the alphabet. So here's what I'm thinking. Rather than doing a duplicate stitch letter on a sweater, I'm going to do the letter using the same chart but doing it in purl bumps like on those washcloths. And then she'll have monogrammed washcloths with her new name
Fun.
for her kitchen.
Wait, who's getting it?
It's Tammy's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Kaylee. It's Kaylee. There's a lot of Lees in that family, which is kind of fun because family
Nice.
names like that are fun. We're going to talk a little more about that in a minute too. But anyway, yeah, Kaylee's getting married, so
Fun.
I'm excited. So hopefully we'll have at least one of those finished. I can't see them taking very long, like maybe 2 hours each. So this is the yarn that I plan to use for the dishcloths. Feel that nice cotton.
Yay. I gotta do some more dishcloths. I got a stash
It's a good cotton.
of dishcloth yarn
Oh, yeah. you
waiting
should start
to
working
be
on it.
knitted.
Uh-huh.
But I also have a stash of finished dishcloths waiting to be used. So maybe when that gets less, then I will make some more.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'll just make,
Or make
some.
them for gifts and keep them in a
Oh, yeah.
stash for gifts, you know.
Yep.
Okay, I was gonna do my last one.
You had another plan.
I have another plan. Yes. I'm so excited about this one. This one, my cute grandson helped me with. Because,
precious.
do you want to just tell them about how he likes to wind?
He gets excited when a lot of the yarn that I get, we order online from our friends and their Etsy shops and they send it to us. And anytime yarn comes in the mail, I let him open it. He gets super excited and jumps up and down and he hugs it and plays with it. And then he says, wind, wind, wind. Because he wants me to help him wind it right away. And he actually turns the little crank and makes a ball of yarn and he gets so proud of it. But the last few times we wound yarn, he said, blue one, blue one. He needed a
Which
blue
means
a blue one to wind, but we didn't have one that needed to be wound.
Right.
So then...
Right. So, then came my plan for what I wanted to do, and I am just working on pulling it up right now for people who may not have seen it. It should be right here. There it is. Okay. So this one I am planning to do. This is Caitlin Hunter's new design, and it is color worked. It's called the Jupiter crop. And
Pretty.
I just think it's so beautiful. And I was scrolling one day, and I came across one of our friends. This is Queen Emily, who is Yarnberry Yarns, who did your Hobbit yarn.
Yes.
Hobbit yarn.
My Hobbit.
So she did, she also did the Chronicles of Narnia. She did Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Blue.
And she had blue. So I sent my blue skeins home with Kyle so that he could have blue ones.
And he did. He wound
To
those with me.
wind. And that blue is gonna be, hold that one.
Deeper
Is gonna be
Magic.
my main color, yes. And it is called Deeper Magic. This one is called Not a Tame Lion, and that's gonna be my secondary color in it. And then these beautiful jewelly colors.
I
This
love
one
that green.
is-
It just makes me smile
Isn't
every
it so
time.
fun? I believe this one's called Beyond the
My
Wardrobe.
favorite one.
And this one is
The stone table.
and this one is Once a King or Queen.
Yay!
And so I'm gonna put those Narnia
that
colors
family.
together and do a Jupiter crop.
Yay!
And I'm not even worried that it's fingering weight because I think it's okay to have a drapier lighter
Are you
sweater.
going to do it cropped?
I will probably make it longer.
Yeah.
Just because I think crop is not gonna work in my belly.
Mhm.
So I'll probably make it longer. So I got extra yarn so that I could make it a little bit longer. But I just think that's gonna be so pretty in all that color work, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow! I'm super excited to get started on this one because I just think it's gonna be a
You
blast.
just finished that like today or yesterday.
I finished
so.
it today. I finished the last sleeve today.
Yay!
So yeah, I'm excited. Super excited for it. So.
It's just happy.
I know, it'll be cast on by the next time we podcast because I am so excited about it. So, super excited. Okay,
Yay!
now Becky gets to share her fun. What's your fun?
Okay, this has been really fun. A lot of yarn dyers. So, if everyone dyes yarn, who we talk about, they're great friends, and it's really fun. And a lot of them have this tradition for Christmas time. What they do is they dye up 24 mini skeins, and you sometimes like a big one for Christmas, and it's a big advent calendar. You get to open one every day, and it's so fun. And this, what I'm about to show you, is a Christmas in July advent calendar, because who doesn't need Christmas and fun in the world we live in today?
That's right.
I definitely needed this.
Run out and get some fun.
So it says Yarn Cafe Creations. Chrissy, again, this is her My Little Pony Christmas in July.
So fun. And
And
I think it's minty or something was.
yeah,
I
very
remember
minty
it.
Christmas.
Very
That's the
minty
DVD
Christmas. Do you want me to hold
movie.
that for a second?
I'm gonna put this over here for a sec. That's my project that I have. But she's packed it so cute in here in this box. She has the names of all the different colors. And then look at these cute little polka dot packages.
Polka dotty, and they're all different colors of polka dots.
They're
What?
just rainbow and cheerful and beautiful.
What? It makes us
And there's
wanna
my already
see.
open ones. Those little balls in there.
Ugh.
Keeping them all together, you know?
Oh my goodness, those are so
But they're
fun.
just like the funnest colors, and they're all just happy and speckly and cute.
Happy speckles.
And they make me happy.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I open them every day, and actually Kyle, my 2-year-old, opens it every morning, and he gets into the package. It's a little hard because it's stapled closed. But he gets it open, and he does the cute little whoo face, pulls it out, and then he runs over to wind it, and he winds it for me every morning. And then when I have time during the day, I add it. Dun, dun, dun. Look how long that's getting. I had to unroll it.
Project.
right side.
Oh my
this.
goodness. So today must be July 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's the 9th today.
It's the 9th because we have 9 pieces. I love this little herringbone pattern to the shawl. How fun is that?
So this pattern is called Speltus.
I like this one.
And it is,
I like this one.
I'll tell you, it's by Samantha, Troia, Bumblebee Acres Farm. And this is the best, probably ever, Advent pattern. Because even if the days, maybe you wouldn't necessarily put them all in order in another pattern, it doesn't matter for this one. It's just a different color brick. It's supposed to be different. So it's just been joyous and happy, and it's just a garter simple stitch. So
Oh my goodness.
tomorrow I'm going to pick up this right here and knit all the way across the new color. It just stacks. And it's so fun.
It just stacks.
Do you like that yellow
all the way
color?
across, and then when you get to the end, you just bind off.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy about it. What?
So
That's
this
so
one,
fun.
this yellow was like socks for everybody.
I was gonna say.
I watched the movie, you
This
guys.
is my favorite.
And in the movie, Minty is the main character. This is Minty. Minty is playing. They put up their Christmas tree, and this is the Christmas tree color. And it's really fun. And she accidentally like knocks off the topper that's on the Christmas tree, and so she's worried that Santa Claus is not gonna come to Ponyville because he can't see the tree. So she's worried, and she really loves socks. And so she runs around and she tries to find socks that she can sneak in and gift all her friends Christmas socks.
That's a pool stripe on that one. That one,
Yep.
It pooled funky.
Well, I wouldn't say funky, but yeah, it did.
No, it's the only one that has that kind of.
Well, it's a
pooling on
different,
it,
it's
isn't
a
it?
different shape than the other ones too. So these three are the same, and then these are different from it.
Oh.
But yeah, a little bit of a pool.
Not that it's bad or anything. I just was kind of like, what's on it? When I was looking in the camera, I was like, what's on it? And then I was like, oh, it's actually pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Cool.
All
I
the
still think it's my
speckles of that
favorite.
color
I
lined up.
love that yellow. That is just so
Yeah.
fun.
I love.
And
I
Kyle
like
tells you
this
what
one a
color
lot,
they
too.
all are too, right?
I know, he
It's
pulls
from
it
the
out
influence
today.
zone.
Ying, ying. That's why it says green.
Green. Yeah.
He's my favorite. But yeah, this is,
Yeah.
it's over a third of the way done.
Excellent.
So, yeah, I think that's just going to be a really fun one to have. And I might even make more because I really like this pattern. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
It's
use...
a great way to use your advents. And
you
did
could
you
use like a big skein and then do that like every third and then like minis or scraps because it takes only 10 grams.
I was going to
each
say, because you had
thing.
quite a bit left over, so
Yeah, it only uses half.
it only uses half of it, so you could do another one just like it.
Yeah, or different. But you could make 2 of the same. You're right. You're not wrong. But, yep. That's my favorite.
I love it. That's
And
so
I have my
much
Christmas
fun.
tree marker and my pony marker to show the right side.
You've also been posting this every day. You've been posting your new edition.
Yeah,
to it.
in my Instagram
On
stories
Instagram,
I've been
yeah.
posting. And then
That's so
Christy
fun.
shares it too.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like I better post it.
So
Christy's
Christy
gonna
can-
notice. Why didn't you do your square for today?
Yeah.
I don't think she would sing.
I don't think she would.
But it is always fun when you post something with someone's yarn and then they want to interact with you.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes it so much more fun, and that makes
Yeah.
me want to buy more of her yarn because I know she pays attention to what I make with it. So.
True. And, you know, I mean, who doesn't want to be tagged to see what people are making with their creation? It's like, okay, what did my creation become once it was in your hands, you know?
Yeah, I love
That's
it.
cool.
I love when she
So tagging
comments.
the dyers is always cool.
And then I feel like I'm glad I did your yarn justice in your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Glad I have your approval.
I'm glad you like it. But also, I think Sam, who did the pattern, she commented on my post too. So that made me
Nice.
feel good.
That's awesome.
Yay!
I love it.
That's all my stuff.
That's lots of knitting.
I know.
I didn't think I'd done very much knitting, but
You have this like big whole sweater.
I know, and I have been working on this one a lot, so. But it's kind of mindless knitting too. Once you start in the rounds, you're just, you know, knit, knit, knit. Easy. It was pretty easy.
Yeah, it's easy. So
The
if
beginning
you want
was a
to
little
learn how
fussy.
to knit,
The
come
beginning-
ask Mom, and she says it's easy.
Yeah. The beginning was a bit fussy. Remember, I was frustrated with that because I was
with the
having to go.
increasing in the pearls.
I was having to go back and forth with the short rows, and that's a little fussy for me. But it
there's,
worked.
There's even
Okay.
patterns with no short rows too. If you want a super beginner, I know some of those.
Mm-hmm. But I'm very happy with the end result.
Me too.
Okay, so it's time for us
Yay.
to talk family, kiddo. Make sure you know. Hey, it's the cry band section.
Okay.
So I recently took a little poll online, and it asked just how important family values were and how important keeping traditions were. I was like, maximum important, thank you very much. Because let's face it, if it wasn't for our ancestors, none of us would be where we are and who we are if it wasn't for those who came before us. So I think it's an important thing we do when we honor them. And I think I've said before on this program that that's one of the reasons that I decided to knit, is because I watched my grandmother knitting, and for me that was a huge big deal. Not only did it look fun, but it's also preserving an art form that she loved. That's another reason why I think it will be good to knit something to take to Kaylee, because if her mother's grandma were still alive, my grandma, her mother's grandma, she would have undoubtedly knit something for her. So anyway, that's why we do it. So this month is the month of July, and here where we live in Utah, we have the Days of 47. So do you want to describe what Days of 47 is, Becky?
Is that what they always call the parade?
Yeah, the whole celebration is really called the Days of 47.
We always call it the 24th of July.
Or
Pioneer Day.
Pioneer Day, that's
Pioneer
right.
Day. That is when the Mormon pioneers came to Utah. That's when they arrived in the valley.
Yeah, in the Salt Lake Valley.
1847?
In 1847. July 24th, which is why we celebrate the 24th of July. That was their first arrival date here in the valley.
That was the here is the place.
This is the place.
This is the place.
Yep. And
Fun.
and so them striking out on their own and leaving what was then the United States pre-Civil War was so that they could have the religious freedom that they desired. And we just think that it was very brave of them to do. We have pioneer ancestry all throughout our family. A lot of them walked. The ones that we're going to share with you today were a little bit better off, and so they were able to actually ride in wagons with the first wagon company that came into the valley. But even then, saying that they were on the wagons, a lot of them didn't ride the whole way. It was probably pretty uncomfortable actually to ride on those wagons, and so a lot of them did walk the whole way. And I just totally admire that they would think enough about their posterity and the well-being of those who came after them that they would put themselves through those kinds of hardships. So we wanted to just kind of honor them, talk a little bit about some of their making, because we love making, and then share a couple of stories, like a classic one from our family. Should I get this out first?
Okay.
Okay. So this one was actually made by Becky's great-grandmother on the other side of the family. So this is your Grandma Ginny's grandmother, whose name was Annie Eleonora Johnson. And I'm trying to put the right side out toward the camera. So there's the right side. It's this beautiful doily. I just think this is so pretty. And what does it smell like? It smells like cedar because it's been in my cedar chest.
My grandma's grandma is my great.
Yes, your great-great-grandma. And
Those
that's crocheted.
Fun flowers.
It is crocheted, and this would be a covering for like a tea table. When I see something like this is very visual for me for the English tea tables, like Professor Trelawney would have had up in the upper room for her divination class.
Yeah.
So I just think that's really wonderful. So we wanted to just share that making and maybe show you up close. Those are crocheted flowers. And I think of the time and the love that went into things like this, and who knows how she got purple yarn back then. It must have been dyed too. So
I think she did her own dye.
I don't know, maybe. I wish I had more information about it. I think it's just wonderful that we get to keep it. And I don't use it because I am kind of afraid that it will get soiled or something, and that goes against everything I always tell people. I made it so you can use it, but on the other hand, it's nice to have
tiny intricate things for people.
On the other hand, though, it is nice to be able to pull it out and say so and so made this and appreciate her making skills. So I think that that's really neat.
I have a doily from my husband's grandmother. She sat down and made one for all of her grandkids to gift them when they got married. So even though she wasn't able to be making anymore by the time I met her, she passed away maybe a year into my marriage, but she was able to still gift us her doily that she had made. And she has, more than 50 grandchildren, so she made a bunch.
Wow, that's awesome.
Because she had 7 kids, and they all have like between 7 to 10 kids.
Holy cow.
So she has many family, but she made that, so I have
that is a serious progeny. I don't think I can aim for even 50 grandkids, no.
Oh, you might get...
I might get 3.
15. At the most.
At the most, yeah.
Probably maybe 10 or less.
So this little set, this is another tea towel set, and it's got 4 of these beautiful little, with the crocheted borders on them. This one was made by Becky's great-grandma. And it's a full tea towel set. So there are 4 of these little napkins to put on your ladylike knee. Ooh. And then, see, this is why I tucked the other one away, because I had this one out for a while when my kids were babies, and of course it got oopsed on and stuff, but this would be the one that you use as a tablecloth. And so this one's got the 4-corner, and it's done on linen. So I just think
this is so tiny.
I know.
They have tiny hands.
So tiny. And they must have used teeny tiny little hooks for it. And I think it's crocheted. Does that look like crocheted?
Yeah.
Yep, it is crocheted. So I just think that's amazing that these
so who
women
made this
did
one?
this cut
Dorothy?
work. Dorothy Child, yes.
I have her bedroom set in
That's
my
right,
bedroom.
you do. That might be where I kept this for a little while, but I don't know, it just scares me to soil them, so I keep them all put away in plastic in my cedar chest, because they totally smell like cedar. But that's great.
There's other smells they could be smelling like.
Which will not be as pleasant. That's right. So
cedar smell is
like
wonderful.
Cedar smell.
And I love this little.
I know, it's just this.
It's just so thoughtful.
Yeah.
There we go.
Really wonderful.
So lovely.
She must have had to count the rows so that those would be the same distance in when she cut that in. I don't know. They're really amazing. So, yeah. So those are our treasures from our past this time. Yay. And now we'll share with you your story. Do you want to show the picture?
I'll show the picture. You tell the story.
I'll tell the story.
I'm bad at it.
Okay. You hold that picture up and I will tell the story.
Okay.
So Becky's little sister, when I was expecting her, what?
It's not time to show it yet.
Oh, it's not? When I was expecting her, we didn't know if we were having a boy or a girl. And we were discussing names, and I think we had chosen the name Michael if it was a boy or something like that. And I don't even remember how exactly the conversation went, but I asked my husband if I could name her Julianne. And there's a story behind it, Julianne, and he said that would be fine if I can make her middle name Child, because that is his family name from his grandma.
So that was who made that tea set was Dorothy.
Dorothy Child. Yeah, that was her last name, her married last name. So anyway, he said deal, and she came out a girl, so she ended up being Julianne. So the significance of Julianne is that Julianne is a family name that for us goes back now 7 generations. So Becky's going to show you the pioneer picture that we have.
Here, you can talk. I'm not good.
So, like, is that too? What is
Yeah,
how's
I
that?
wanted to
Is
be
that
able.
good?
I want to be able to see you.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I have it
Oh,
like
you
this.
see my mug, but
I
okay.
can see you talking about your Julies.
Okay, talking about my Julies.
Our Julies.
Our Julies. Okay, so basically, here's the deal. My sister, so I have a daughter named Julie Ann, I have a sister named Julianne, and I have a mother named Julianne. And they're all part of this legacy, the 7 generations of Juliannes. So I thought that I would just spend a little bit of time talking about them today. So these are the first ones, and starting with Julia Ann Banker Adams. So she, and I'm gonna use my cheat sheet here.
Yeah, okay.
She was born in 1826. So she is one of the pioneers who came across the plains.
200 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. 1826
Wow.
is almost 200 years ago. And she came here to the valley in 1847. And interestingly enough, I have a birth date for the second Julianne. This is Julia Thankful Adams. And Julia was born on August 11th, 1847.
Oh, wow.
Now I want you to think about that for a second. They got to the valley on July 24th, 1847. So that's 2.5 weeks later, this one was born.
That was a very pregnant lady coming across
Yes.
the plains.
That means that the first Julia coming across the plains was very pregnant.
Wow.
Pregnant for the whole thing, and delivered her baby as soon as they got to the valley. Gave her the name Thankful. You can understand why she would have the middle name Thankful, because they were thankful that they had arrived. They were thankful that she was well, and that everything went okay with that. I can't even imagine walking here from Illinois, let alone being pregnant walking here from Illinois, because we know that the pioneers walked an average of about 20 miles a day. That's so horrible. I just can't even. But there they are. And so they call folks like Julia Thankful here, they call them native pioneers, because they were actually born here in Utah. So she was one of the first native pioneers here in the Salt Lake Valley. Interestingly enough, Julia Thankful married Joseph Watson Young. So she was the second wife of Joseph Watson Young, because back then they practiced polygamy here in the valley. And she had 2 daughters, and the second, I think she was the second one. The second one was Julianne. So that would be the mama here in this picture. That's Julianne Young, and she married Ernest Quayle. She was born in 1867, and I always remember that she was born in 1867 when Julia Thankful was 20, yes, because that's exactly 100 years before I was born.
Oh, hey.
So that's how I remember that one. So, yep, so that's her, and then this baby in her arms is her daughter, Julianne. And this Julianne was known by the family as Jude, and they all called her Aunt Jude, and Jude never had children. So as not to lose the Juliannes, my grandfather, who was the youngest child of Julie, decided that he needed to name one of his daughters Julianne. So my mother was that baby, and she's Julianne number 5. Then my sister's Julianne number 6, and she also didn't have a daughter to name Julianne, so I named my daughter Julianne to keep the tradition going, and she is Julianne number 7, and she is
Yay.
quite the fan of family history work.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool.
She goes to the temple all the time.
Right.
When we were able to.
We have this other cute little treasure from Julianne. This is a postcard that my grandfather had that he let me take, and I made a copy of the back of it so I could display both sides of it. The car is an old Cadillac, and I think the date he gave me for that is about 1915 for that picture. And she wrote a little poem on the postcard. Some of the things that we were pointing out is that postcard is 1 penny. So it cost a penny to send the postcard, and she writes a little poem on it. This is the farmer, good and true, who schemes and plans the whole year through. This is the wife who, what does that say again?
This is the wife who worries and frets and surely earns all that she gets. These are the babies, sweet and dear, without whom life would be very drear. These are the sacks that hold the wheat, that makes the bread we'd like to eat. Love, Julie. How cute.
Yeah.
I want a
and then you can
postcard
see
like that with
you
a
can
cute little
see the
poem.
bags of wheat that are on there. So yeah, this is just one of the pages from my memory book, and we can share that so that people can see it.
Show how you
when
did the pedigree thing too. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, I did this for every page in this book, where we've got the little pedigree so that the kids can trace back where
How are
this
we related
ancestor
to
came.
this
Because
person?
what I did was I built. You need to hold it up a little higher. I built a book that has a page for each of my children's ancestors. And I plan to make copies of this and give to all of them. So here's Dorothy Child from Becky's dad's side of the family. And I've got pictures of them. And what I did was I organized them by birthday. And then when the kids were tiny, I think when Becky was about 10 or 12,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
we would take one night a month to celebrate the birthdays of all of our ancestors for that month. And we would talk about them and we would read their stories.
There's
So that
Grandpa.
the kids, there's Grandpa Sam, he's this one right here with the guitar. And so, yeah, so there's this
I love this book.
treasure, wonderful book that is there to honor our ancestors and our family heritage, because like we said before, it's a very important thing to us to remember where we came from and why we are who we are. That's a cool thing. That's a really cool thing. So I still need to make a copy. I want to make a copy of this for Becky to have to put on her shelf so that she has these same stories
Yes.
for her babies
Need it.
as they get older. So
What,
then she'll just have to work on her husband's side of the family.
There's many of them.
There's only 50 cousins, you know.
Kate, he has so many cousins he doesn't even recognize them. I will recognize like them as a couple from going to baby showers and wedding showers. So I'll know like the wives.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see him at the store. I was like, oh hey, that's so and so, and he's like, who? And I'm like,
Your cousin.
Oh,
That's too funny.
so funny.
Yeah.
Wait, when is her birthday? October. She's
October.
October.
She's an October birthday.
Right,
So
right.
that's pretty cool. So anyway, that's what I had to share about family, and
Yay.
just remind you to remember where you came from, right?
Yeah.
And what else about being a pan? When you're a granny pan, you gotta be young at heart. That's a good thing to be. Gotta get excited about winding blue yarn.
Oh yeah. Live for it.
That's right. Live every day.
Just, you know,
Enjoy
try
it.
to enjoy. And I think that's the fun thing about having a little toddler. And yeah, he's crazy and he's a lot, but he is just, little kids, they just have the most pure emotions. And especially when it's joy, like, it's just magic.
It is. It's like experiencing everything over again for the first time, watching them do it.
Like just seeing his little face, like, there's a red yarn today. How excited he gets. Like, it's just, because that's how I feel in my heart. But I'm more like, oh yeah, it's cool. But he's like, this is the best thing ever. I'm jumping up and down, waving it around. And I just love that about him and about children. And you know, staying young and being that granny pan, and she does a really good job of sharing and joining in that joy when he's around. So.
That's what life is all about, Becky.
Yep.
That's why we wrote about never grow up.
Don't forget.
I don't want to grow up.
Get excited about peas. Get excited about there's a dog. Like everything, you know, just the joy and just be happy and
Let yourself be joyful.
Be
Let
honest
yourself be joyful,
Yes.
because it's in our very nature to be so.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, be kind. We'll see you all again in a couple more weeks. Bye.
Bye.